Hopium jump scare. Despite World War III on the horizon and a crumbling economy, we've got some absolute heaters headed our way this year. I haven't been this excited for game releases in a long time. I genuinely don't even know if I'm gonna have all the time to play all of these games to completion the way I want to, because it's just one banger after another. We obviously got Forza Horizon 6, Crimson Desert, Ace Combat 8, and of course, GTA 6. This year's gonna be absolute cinema for gamers, and that's still not even listing a lot of the amazing indie titles that have already come out this year. Hell, even older ongoing games like Overwatch are coming to their senses and just hitting home runs again. I'm not just saying that because I want to squeeze Domina's thighs. The actual savior, of course, is Jetpack Cat. I mean, come on, it was foretold long ago in the prophecy. It's been so long since AAA studios actually locked in and stopped delivering us hot garbage like they have been in the past 5 or so years. I'm tired of these Concord levels of failures being peddled to us by AAA studios who then have the audacity to blame us gamers for not buying their garbage. Doomran aside, it seems a lot of companies have gotten the memo and are realizing we just want fun games again, you know? No pandering, no time gating, no moral grandstanding. Just give us a game that is fundamentally just fun, because that's the whole point of playing games. It's still a shame that gaming prices are on the rise and RAM prices haven't fallen as fast as we'd like, but the fact that they're going down is a good sign for time to come, and who knows, maybe the AI bubble might burst by the end of the year, in which case this might actually be a good year. But genuinely, if you can get your hands on even just a couple of these titles this year, I think us gamers are still gonna have a field day regardless. So on to chapter 1. Before we can appreciate how good we're having it, let's look back at why we were so starved for content in the years prior. Sure, we still had some zingers like Expedition 33, Death Stranding, but I get that that might not be everyone's cup of tea. So for everyone who mostly plays mainstream games, brother, what the heck did we just live through? The latest Call of Duty flopped, Assassin's Creed ain't what it used to be, and High Guard was actually just Midgard and died in a little over 2 Concords of time. Also, I'm tired of these Twitter apologists trying to get mad at us gamers and calling us chuds over not buying their garbage. Money is tough right now, and no consumer should ever be subjected to being ripped off to please billionaire companies and their Twitter apologists. Like, I'm sorry I don't care about your shareholders, because a lot of us don't want to spend $40 on a crap game, right? Bad game's a bad game. I'm a huge believer of consumer power, and people lately have been speaking more of their wallets now. If a game fails, maybe it failed for a reason, right? And if a game is hype, then it's hype for a reason. Like, Call of Duty can add all the Nicki Minaj and Seth Rogen skins they want, but Battlefield 6 was mogging the charts at the end of last year, and that was proof of how people still want fun, and more importantly, simple games that just stays to the point. By the way, I'm not against in-game purchases or cosmetics, but it's about tone, right? Like a car game that sells you cool car stuff, that makes sense, but why was a military shooter that was once one of the grittiest games of all time? Like, actually think about it. Why are they normalizing stuff like this? And before you think what I said was cringe about Call of Duty, actually think about it. Like I said, like, early COD campaigns went ballistic. Brother, even the middle of the road COD games still were metal as But like, these games, we were on the edge of our seat with each release, whether it was single player, zombies, or multiplayer. We were actually excited back in like late 2000s to early 2010s. Now though, it just feels like discount Fortnite with all these goofy skins that completely distorted the tone that the original audience and demographic grew up with these Call of Duty games. And by the way, no hate on Fortnite. I still love Fortnite, but the reason I bring it up is because Fortnite should be Fortnite, not every single other AAA company trying to copy Fortnite. Like, why are they so obsessed with becoming the next Fortnite? And now that I say that, we as gamers, we know it's a dumb move, but now that I actually think about it, an out-of-touch executive who's trying to please shareholders, who's only looking at one chart, it makes total sense why they would just point at this and be like, Fortnite did it, it worked for Fortnite, it's gonna work for our game too. Like, that's not how it works, because don't they know market saturation is a thing? Like, don't they have businessmen and market analysts that they've hired who can tell them them that, like, hey sir, maybe it's not a good idea to make the 10,000 Fortnite clone in the big 2026 when that was like a thing in 2018. And you know what, I just answered my own question because they probably actually fired them and replaced them with AI. Yeah, that's probably why they keep doing this. That's enough ranting. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to like and subscribe for more Doom posts another time, because for now, I want to get back to some Bladed Angel Hope Core. I genuinely do not mind games being delayed anymore. I used to be really upset about it when I was a teenager, but after living through the release of No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2027, and a few other train wrecks, yo, developers, take your time. Both of those games are actually astounding nowadays, but I'm sure a lot of people will never try them again, and I don't even blame you guys, because bad first impressions can tattoo themselves onto people's brains, and again, as consumers, I respect your guys' decision to not trust something that you felt burned by. Even if I sing it praises, I can't force you to do with your money and your opinion, right? Having said that, that's why I fully understood why Grand Theft Auto 6 was delaying itself last year, because if they fumble their release, that's it. You only get one first impression and one shot at it. So Rockstar decided to pump the brakes, put it back in the oven, and let it cook more. Regarding other new releases that aren't as big of a title as GTA 6, but honestly still a really exciting game like Crimson Desert, I'm mind blown a game like this with this level of content and polish can still just be randomly dropped in this day and age. Like, this game, I didn't have much hype for it. I didn't even hear about it. It was just already out. People were talking about it, and I was like, I vaguely recognize this style. Let me check it out. And it's a great game. It's a finished game as is. Like, I'm talking like the 2000s to 2010s era of gaming, like Halo 2, Gran Turismo 4, Skyrim, Oblivion, that kind of stuff. I don't mind DLC, but it should be there to enhance an amazing experience, not conclude an unfinished product like a lot of modern AAA developers started using them as. Like, legit, it feels more and more like some games are just early access, and they actually need the DLC and add-ons to feel like a finished product. And genuinely, that's why I just want to glaze Crimson Desert a bit, since this absolutely slaps. And playing this game made me miss this like studio style so much that I even logged back into their previous game, which was Black Desert Online. And what's crazy is like this publisher has their own proprietary engine that's made in-house, which you don't really see in this day and age, since even a lot of the games, so like a lot of early PlayStation games made their own engines because their studios just own their own engine. Rockstar still does it themselves, which is why you know Rockstar games are always going to be peak, like Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto. And like that's how you know this game was gonna be peak. And while I do respect the ease of development that Unity and Unreal Engine bring, more often than not, it ends up just being Unreal slop or Unity asset flips, and a lot of big studios use it to cut corners and save costs. And there's a lot of heart that is lost when they no longer use their own engine, especially in terms of like physics and movement, where it's like certain games used to just feel a certain way, right? Like it really is a feel, like through your controller even. Like that's why every racing game back then felt so distinct, like the way Burnout feels. Anyways, random tangent over. Why gambler gotcha when you can just watch Bladed Angel? That's why you should subscribe and check out my other videos, because you never know what you're gonna get when open up my videos. Anyway, since we're on the topic of cars now, we might as well get to the game that I guarantee 70% of my audience was waiting on anyways. What the? What? Here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. Ace Combat 8, Wings of Thief. I cannot wait for this game to release. We're going back to Strange Reel with this one. Sir, another ADF Falcon has hit the timeline. Wait, what do you mean this wasn't what you were waiting for? Wait, they wanted Forza? But I already made a video on that last month. You guys know my channel logo is literally Ace Combat, right? Wait, the audience retention is dropping? Fine, Forza Horizon 6. Okay, but genuinely, I am excited for this. So sarcasm aside, this game next month, we've received a lot more info about this game since my previous video, so I'm not going to repeat anything that I already said in that one.
I took a 1 kilometer stretch of drag strip in both games to match up the map scales and got what I think is a pretty dang accurate comparison of the two maps. I roughly cut out the playable areas of each map, you know, removing the oceans and mountains you can't get to, and discovered that, again, roughly, Horizon Horizon 6's Japan is 25% larger than Horizon 5.
First off, I want to address a huge W. We actually got to see thinner lanes. That may not sound like a big deal to non-car people, but genuinely, for a place like Japan, this absolutely sets the tone and also just increases the difficulty, makes the game more engaging, and just feels right. All right? Let's take another look at early gameplay footage from my fellow Alanin, ThatDudeinBlue. Link to his full video in the description. Highly recommend. If we look back at the IGN trailer, we see the lanes on the highway. There were these wide behemoths, and even out in the countryside, you could fit like 3 Celine S7 wide bodies next to each other. But in David's gameplay, we finally see significantly narrower roads that are barely large enough to fit one kind of like full-sized car, and that's cool. This is actually amazing. You have no idea how proud of the developers I am for this one. We all knew it wasn't an impossible issue to fix, so praise be the overworked developers, all right? Y'all did great on this one. And speaking of foliage and environment, the mountains, the grass, and the cherry blossoms, baby, they're all stunning. The Doom posters can stay coping because I'm not missing out on this game. It's absolutely going to hold me out until GTA 6 releases later this year, and I might still play Forza Horizon 6 even then. There's a lot more traffic and it just feels more like a living city, especially when you're in downtown. The outskirts will still be the outskirts, but that's the point of outskirts, right? But you'll still see some cars bunched up here and there. Also, we see a return of other players' drivatars we all know and love just roaming about the open world, so we won't be having those ghost town vibes like the IGN trailer showcased. With this traffic density, we finally see streets more populated, alive, and it just feels more challenging when you're like rushing down street racing through the downtown area. It's also just fun to ram your friend's drivatar whenever you see them in your convoy. I mean, there's no way I'm the only human being that does that, right? No one on this planet has unique experiences, I know that. The best part though, they added Eurobeat to the radio station, so instead of running SoundCloud on another tab, we can just tune into our favorite station and cosplay as Takumi, aka Taco Meme, as we drift through the mountain roads delivering tofu. Going to AR12 Gaming's video, one of my favorite content creators I grew up watching, this man ain't unk status, he's an OG, baby. He showcases a lot of insane wide bodies that we will be receiving in Forza Horizon 6. And I mean, just look at them, right? Bro, Doug Yamuro would be so proud of this S-Cargo. It's always good to see Forza expand their customization, since they weren't usually the industry leader in this segment. The Crew franchise, and especially Need for Speed, were always leagues ahead in terms of like wild customization for cosmetics, but since Need for Speed was taken out back and shot in the head, RIP our dearly departed, I'm so glad that Playground Studios is stepping up their cosmetic upgrades with each successive release to fill that void in all of our hearts. We see a return of wide bodies that were already debuted in many previous games, as well as an addition of several other wide bodies, especially for the newer cars in this game, and also just goofier ones for the heck of it. This is on top of getting more wheels than ever, a significantly better coloring UI, and really just rework UI in general. And we can even change the finer details like the color of our tow hook. Customization just through the roof on this game. Absolutely see myself dumping tens of hours into just staring at my car in the garage. And guess what? You can even customize that garage too. They really thought of everything and pulled out all the stops. I'm so excited to play this game when it launches. I almost wish I wasn't moving in May, since now I don't even know if I will have time to move anymore or choose to play Forza Horizon 6 instead, and you probably already know which one I'm gonna pick to do instead. That house can wait. So now that that's out of the way, will you finally listen to me talk about Ace Combat? No? Please? I'll remember this. I'll get you guys to watch an Ace Combat video someday. Until then, like this video if you're excited for all new releases in 2026, and make sure to subscribe for more Doom posts and occasional Hope Core. Check out my Epidemic slot videos if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bladed Angel out.